What's up, guys? It is Saturday the 23rd. I don't even actually know, is this the beginning of a vlog or is this a continuation of a vlog? That's how out of touch I am with my own reading and just life and everything. So right now I have 24 minutes before I am due back on Zoom. With my coaching group, we're doing a GSD, get stuff done day today. So we work for like 2 hours and we have an hour break. And so during this hour break, this is our second hour break, I am cleaning because my house, my life, my brain has just been a major mess, just like major funk city. The anniversary of Sam's death was on April 3rd. I was traveling. I was in Nashville on that day. The trip was great and everything like that, but just like, I just think I underestimated how much that actually affected me. And like, I still have like shame mess here. I still, my suitcase is still there from, I think I got home April 5th. And so I'm about to put that away. I did put one piece of luggage away already. And so I just have like right now mostly like laundry kind of stuff. I've got some bedding going in the washing machine. So basically that's like the big goal for this weekend is to get my bedroom and my living room just like tidy, clean, because that makes me like my brain work much better. Also, I love to be able to read in like a freshly clean house. So when I'm done, I think either my next break or when we're done, I think I'm gonna like vacuum the living room and everything and get that all spruced up so I can actually read and get back to Great Circle. I've been reading it in bits. And it's mostly, it's not, you know, it's not you, it's me. It's not the book, it's me. I've just been in this funk. And basically most of the time when I've had free time, I've been watching ER on HBO Max because that's just kind of what I've had the mental bandwidth for. But I know that watching TV for hours and hours on end and staying up too late, like that leads to staying up too late, does not serve me well. Yet I continue to do it. So this is kind of like a little refresh, restart with those good habits again, because I know that everything just works better when my spaces are clean and when I stick to my routines. So I'm really looking forward to that and then updating you about kind of where I am and what my thoughts are on Great Circle. It is almost 5 o'clock. I got a ton of work done today. During some breaks, I went and did a quick, just kind of abbreviated version of my workout. A lot of the times I was working actually using my treadmill desk, and I have over 20,000 steps now. Plus I went, oh my goodness, the dogs are coming. Plus I went for a walk earlier this morning with this guy. And so, yeah, I need my brain needs a little bit of a break. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow myself to watch, I'm going to watch, I'm going to watch a booktube video. I saw Jen Campbell has a new video up, so I'm going to watch that. And then I want to read for like an hour. This whole like timer thing really works for me. Stevie, stop. I was just walking on the treadmill, so I'm like a little bit sweaty and it's apparently delicious. Anyway, stop. No, thank you, sir. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna watch a Jen video. Then I think I'm gonna set a timer for 45 minutes to an hour and just read. And then I need to finish my room, finish putting some laundry away. I've got bedding in the dryer. Did I just put that in the dryer? I just put some bedding in the dryer and then probably do some more reading. end up reading very much last night. I read, I think, about 40 pages or so. I was so tired though. I think just my eyes were so tired from looking at the computer screen all day. And one thing I find about this book is I really get sucked into it. I get really sucked into the world. But then I like everything else ceases to exist kind of situation, which is great. I love. But just my eyes, just like, sometimes you just need to rest your eyeballs. And so I had to do that. And then I needed to get that other stuff finished. So I got all the laundry put away. So I feel really good just about my environment. So that's great. I even vacuumed the living room. So I need to vacuum my bedroom today. And then change my bedding. That'll be kind of the last getting my stuff together task of the weekend. But I've been reading a bit this morning, and of course I keep showing you the book. It's just the naked hardback. Do you read with the dust jacket on? I can't. No way. It looks cooler when you hold it up, but I'm not going to go get it just for a clip. No. So anyway, I haven't really talked about, what the book is about. Of course, it's been everywhere. So if you don't know, Great Circle is about Miriam Graves, who was a pilot in the first half of the century, I'll say, and a female pilot. And where we are now in the book, it's now World War II. So before she came to really become enamored with flight when the barnstormers came through when she was growing up in Montana, and just knew she was going to fly and did everything that she could, including kind of accepting a proposal from a man that she really didn't want to, but it was kind of like she would do anything in order to be able to fly. And so then that kind of changes the course of things. She has thousands of hours of flight when the United States enters World War II, and she's actually gone to England to fly there. And so women aren't in combat, but they're basically more like taxiing. So they're delivering planes from the wherever they're manufactured to wherever they need to be, so then the men can then fly them in combat. And the other big portion of the book is, I say big portion, but it's actually not as big as I expected, is there's a movie being made now in kind of current day. And so we follow Hadley, the actress who is playing Miriam. And they have quite a bit of, sorry, my dog's drinking water loudly. Their lives mirror each other a lot. They're both orphans, and Hadley sees herself in Miriam a lot, and there's some other connections there and everything. But what I didn't expect is for the Hadley portions. There's an ad during my Lo-Fi Girl. Hang on. Oh, we're switching to Chill Hop now. Anyway, let's show you what I'm talking about. There we go. That's Chill Hop. It was Lo-Fi Girl, but it ended. Anyway, so what I didn't realize is it's by no means like a half and a half kind of story. The current day Hadley portions are very small, and actually seem, as the book has progressed, I'm over halfway through. I'm like 3/4 of the way through at this point, if not further. And at this point, the Hadley portions are really, really kind of minuscule. What takes up a much bigger part than the Hadley portions are actually Jamie, Miriam's twin brother. And those portions I found really interesting. And that they're twins, Jamie and Miriam is very, I grabbed the slobbery end. Miriam is much more kind of masculine. In, even when she was younger, she cut her hair so that she looked like a boy because she thought that it would be easier for, she would get more jobs, she would get hired if people thought she was a boy instead of a girl, or, various ages here, female or male instead of female. And then Jamie is, you might say, has more of the kind of more feminine-like characteristics. He's very sensitive. He's a vegetarian because he just can't imagine killing animals in order for him to eat. He's an artist, and so you just kind of have this juxtaposition between the two, where gender roles are maybe a little bit swapped, I suppose. And not that it's abnormal or anything like that for a female to have more stereotypically masculine traits and vice versa. It's just interesting the fact that they're twins, and this is the interplay. And then so now as the war has ended, and of course there was a draft and everything, now what does Jamie do? And so I won't go into what he ends up doing, but anyhow, that's where I am. I think I have like 150 pages or so left. Let me see, 457. Yeah, about 140 pages or so left. I also really need to spend some time on the memoir today. So where I am in the memoir is the first draft is done. I'm into the second draft. I reordered some things. Initially, even when I just conceptualized that, people have been telling me for 10 years I should write a book, but I just never really knew like what's the angle, like what type of book is it? And when I literally like 3 a.m, I had woken up and I couldn't go back to sleep. And then I thought like, oh, it's a memoir told in vignettes. And from that initial idea, it was not chronological. It was like the time we. But when I actually started writing it, the timeline is actually really important, because I'm talking about from the time that, well, first of all, the time that my husband and I met each other and our early relationship, and then he gets, joins the Marine Corps, suffers a traumatic brain injury in Iraq, and then eventually leads to his death. And the timeline's kind of important for you to be able to understand just the sequence of events. And so I had to reorder and make sure that everything was chronological. There are some pieces that are a little bit more of where I'm describing more of a concept rather than a specific time, like PTSD, for example. There's a chapter on PTSD where I'm talking about, in general, his experience of PTSD rather than a specific time, even though there are anecdotes of specific instances. But the big thing is, the big challenge that I'm facing right now, that it's going to be really hard to write this part or to rewrite this part, is that we were 14 and 15 when we first met. Actually, no, we were 13 and 14 when we first met. It was like 2 weeks before he turned 14. We were 14 and 15 on our first date. I was older. And my writing coach / editor can see those early portions when we're teenagers, how the voice is a much more juvenile voice. And I kind of don't know how to write it any differently. So the thing that I need to go back and do is basically, rather than just telling it as I experienced it at the time, is add some more kind of hindsight editorializing. So for example, when we first met, we were both in ROTC in high school, and I was standing under this tree in the shade in front of the ROTC room, and this tall, cute, blue-eyed boy comes over, introduces himself, and gave me a kiss on the cheek when he introduced himself. This, of course, was Sam, and like knees buckled, Twitter-pated, like he had me at hello. And so I guess the hindsight would be like, okay, that was how 15 or 14-year-old me kind of experienced that with Sam, but what would, like, as a 38-year-old, if a man just came up to me and shook my hand, introduced himself, and then kissed me on the cheek, what would my experience of that be? Or if it had been anyone else besides Sam at 15, 14, what would that have been? So just adding some more of my own current day commentary to previous stories. So that's one of the big projects I have now. And so I think I would love, if I can just power through and finish this right now, maybe we'll see if my attention can last that long. I see myself probably ending up at Starbucks later. There's one Starbucks, I live about equidistant from 2 different Starbucks. And then there's a Pete's Coffee in between, which is actually the closest, and I far prefer Pete's Coffee. But the atmosphere of this one particular Starbucks just works for me, and I just have I get into a really good writing flow when I'm there. And, you know, like the staff knows me, especially if I go in the evenings on the weeknight evenings. That staff in particular, like, knows me. They know me by name when I walk in. Love that feeling. But yeah, so I'll probably end up there at some point. So enough babbling. I should get to some reading. I've done a terrible job reading today. I just watched a baseball game. My team, go Giants, won. Read a little bit more. I think I have about 100 pages to go. So I'm about to go into Starbucks. It's 2:16. At 4 o'clock, I have my group coaching call. So I'm just gonna do it from here. So I'll probably be leaving here around 5 or so. And when I get home, I need to give my dad a haircut. And then I will just kind of like shower, probably change my sheets, and then hopefully, let's see, can I commit to myself right now? Make the commitment. I'm gonna finish Great Circle tonight. You heard it here first. Let's see if I even use this clip. The real strength of this book is the relationships. There's all sorts of relationships, you know, Jamie or Marion. I think I might have been calling her Miriam earlier. It's Marion. The relationship between Marion and Jamie. Then there's also this guy Caleb who they grew up with. She was very close with, and continues in bits as you do as you grow up. Continues to have a relationship with him. There's a woman, Ruth, who's another pilot that she has a relationship with, and I think that's what really draws me in to the story and gets me so immersed in it is just the strength of these relationships. And there's like the older ones from her brother from birth that continue on and have their strength, and just like how, you know, you do in real life with a sibling or a really close friend, how you can be apart for a long time, but then kind of just pick things right back up where you were, or new relationships that she's formed, like with Ruth, this female pilot. So yeah, I think that's just the thing for me that's really makes this book so rich. I can't remember if I told you all about this or if this is like Instagram stories or something. I don't remember, but it is 8:06 and I am in bed, obviously. I will be turning off this light. I have the orange glow there, the Himalayan sea salt lamp. And as long as I'm wearing my glasses, I can read with that lamp right there. So as soon as I talk to you, I'll be getting back to Great Circle, which I have, how much left? In about 70 pages or so, or 85 pages. Don't think I'm going to finish it tonight. By the time I ended up getting to it, it was already like 7:30. So I've only been reading for like a half an hour this evening. So we'll see how much of this I can get read tonight. Marion is just about the chapter called The Flight has just started, or I've just started the chapter called The Flight. So the flight where she goes around the world, I guess, is about to happen. Also, just side note, how good does it feel to have freshly shaved legs and then like fresh clean sheets? Like just like the freshly shaved legs in the clean sheets. It feels so good. I finished it. It was so good. It is, what time is it? Just before 9 o'clock on Monday morning. I really loved this book. Again, it's the relationships, kind of the relationship of Marion with herself in the world, but then the relationships that she has with others, and then even in the Hadley parts too, that kind of parallels it. And then, as I mentioned before, I very much thought that this was going to be much more of an equal balance between the Hadley chapters and the Marion chapters. And it reminded me of, because we get so much of flight in the novel, even though the flight of her circumnavigating the globe doesn't happen until the very end of the book, we're in flight a lot of the time, and often getting the ocean comes up over and over and over again. And it kind of made me think about like the sparsity of the Hadley chapters. Made me think of when she's flying, the globe is mostly ocean, and so like this the sparsity of land compared to the ocean. But I just thought it was absolutely fantastic. There was really nothing that pulled me out of the story to distract me. I keep saying this, but I really was able to just get really engrossed in the story. And the only reason it took me so long to read it was just my own personal funk that I've been in, and nothing to do with the book itself. Like in my last vlog, I was traveling to Nashville and I read this on the plane, and I think I read like 200 pages or something on the way to Nashville. I read another, I don't know, 150 or something pages on the way back. And so I read the first half of it really quite quickly. It was really only just these last few weeks. I just haven't been reading anything very much. And I will definitely say too that I think that this book, most books, but this book benefits from being able to read large chunks at a time, especially because there are a lot of characters that end up coming up later on, people who are important early in life that then come up later on. So there was, yesterday when I was reading, there was a character or a couple characters who were mentioned that at first I couldn't remember who they were. Like the names were familiar, but I couldn't remember why they were important until kind of the context revealed it for me. But had I had read it in a, without essentially taking 2 weeks off in between, I don't think that would have been a problem. So I highly, highly recommend Great Circle, great adventure, relationship, writing, all the things. In other exciting news, I am currently printing my memoir. I'm on the second draft. I've made a good bit of changes. I told you they've already done, but my next big task is to read through as a reader rather than the author. And so I think it's going to be a lot easier to do and to make notes on without actually editing, just to read through as a reader as I would read any other book in printed form. Next time I do this, I'm going to get it done. I'm going to get it copied at Staples or Kinko's or something like that, because I just blew through an entire cartridge of ink, or 2 black cartridges of ink. I just changed them like a week ago. I had to print something again that was kind of long. I had to change the cartridges, and in one printing. So I think it's going to end up being like 112 pages printed, and which translates to, I think, roughly like 150 pages in a book. I'm around 45,000 words right now. So just in order to show you, to have something in hand, I will show you that as the last bit of this vlog. But I would love to know, if you have read Great Circle, what were your thoughts? That's my dog right there, wanting to play fetch. Or maybe have I tickled your fancy? Are you interested in reading Great Circle? Here it is, this chunky girl, second draft. It's in hand, like just having it printed out and not just a thing on a screen just kind of makes it feel a little bit different. Thank you for watching. See you around the tubes.